The alarm, the coffee, the drive, the work, the bed. The alarm, the coffee, the drive, the work, the bed. The alarm, the coffee, the drive, the work, the bed. If that sounds familiar to you, if that sounds like your life, then you're probably like me. Every day you crawl in and out of that 5x7 cube of indifference, sitting in that, cost-effective Office Max chair with lumbar support, and you sit there and you wonder, is this all there is? Is this what my life has been reduced to? Why don't you try doing a podcast and start talking about it like me? I mean, that's what I'm doing, so we'll see how far it goes. But, it's got to be better than, settling for food days and casual Fridays at a job you hate. And, plus you can literally make a podcast about anything, just, find a niche and exploit it, the Anchor app is pretty cool because you can, pretty much use the mic on your phone, and the app pretty much does the rest, and plus, you don't want to do any extra work. I mean, you're already busy. I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you got dinner to cook and kids to feed, bills to pay, et cetera, and you need an app that's going to do all the heavy lifting for you. So let me read what they got here. So check this out. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free, which is true, and it's ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast, and that means you can get paid right away to podcast. In fact, that's what I'm doing pretty much right now by reading, quote, in quotes, this ad. So, it's worth a try. I mean, it's basically, like I said, it's a one-stop shop for all of that. So it's like a Walmart/Target for podcasting. You can you can get a pair of slacks, grocery shop, and get an oil change. It does everything for you. All you have to do is just turn on the record button, plug in your headphones into your phone, and just do it. You could just go off and just start talking. It's user friendly. So just so you know, just go to anchor.fm/start. That is anchor.fm/start. Okay, go ahead and check that out. Let me know if you end up doing it. Maybe we can collaborate, see where it goes. Who knows? All right. Yo, test one. What's going on, y'all? It's me again, Jeremy King, and this is the Cubicle Rebellion podcast, clocking in with you. So I got another idea, another book I want to share with you, I want to break down with you. Like I said last time, these breakdowns have definitely come from this guy who does the 4-minute books, 4minutebooks.com. He does really great, thorough breakdowns. So what I'm doing basically is breaking down his breakdown and kind of putting my spin on it. Today, I want to talk to you about To Sell is Human by Dan Pink. So he's written some great books, and this one I'm still gleaning from. The idea is that selling is a part of life, right? So anyone and everywhere is selling you something. So dating, if you're in the dating world, selling, you're selling the idea that you're worth someone's time or worth investing in. Or interviews, obviously, you're selling them on how you're a good candidate for the position. Parents are even trying to sell their kids on, eat your broccoli, go to bed on time. So everyone everywhere is essentially selling something. That's why the book is called To Sell is Human. It's we're all doing it in some way, shape, or form. And even artists and creatives, like I said last time, it's kind of my market and it's who I want to speak to. But, we're selling the idea that, our art, our service, our product, etc., is valuable and will add some culture or beauty or even emotional value to your life. But the fact still remains that selling has very negative connotations in our minds, and it's just been ingrained in our minds for years because everybody's gotten done dirty by a salesman. Everybody thinks of the same guy or the same image of that pushy salesman that won't leave, until you've bought what he's offering. And then there's that feeling that you're left with after the transaction has happened. It's like regret, anger, shame, frustration. Why didn't I say no? Why did I let him, get over on me like that? It's almost like a bad one night stand or something. It's just a bad experience, and you're left with this idea of, he one upped me, or they got over on me, or they won and I lost. It's a one sided thing. So this book is basically kind of dispels all of that and basically breaks down that guy can no longer survive essentially in this economy and the way the world works, and that essentially we're all selling, and we all can kind of choose how we want to do that and how ethical we want to be. So here's some three takeaways I want to share with you for selling in the 21st century. So the first one is non-sales selling. He talks about non-sales selling, which is basically really just trying to move people. The second point is honesty and service are taking over sales because the internet has closed the information gap. And the third lesson is use yes and when talking to customers to make sure they stay positive and engaged. And it's not the yes and like with the attitude, yes and what. So what you guys say, it's not that. It's yes and also let me add to what you're saying. Let me, yeah, that's true. But also, so let me, anyway, I'll get back to that. So first point, every job includes non-sales selling, which means you have to move others somehow. So for creative people in particular, right? So what you do technically, it isn't necessary. It's not like being a mechanic or a plumber or an engineer or something like where what you do is practical and functional, and there's a demand for it, and the demand is going to be there for a while. It's not as if, like I said, it's just a demand thing. A mechanic, your car breaks down. There's always going to be cars. There's always going to be issues with your car. You take it to mechanic. Mechanics, are going to have a job for a while. But as a creative person, your job is to make someone feel something or move them, quote unquote, from the inside out. It's a moving. I have to move you and make you feel a certain way. You're in the moving business. It's much more abstract and almost squishier in that way. It's not hard concrete. This is what happened. And now I need to get this. And it's tangible, and you can put your hand on it and see that the thing is broken. You're not hiring a fashion consultant to fix your broken kitchen sink. So anyway, I think you get the point. But so a lot of your time is spent persuading them to come to an art gallery, or convincing them of an idea that came to mind, or influencing them to get on board with a particular strategy. It's all about moving. It's human behavior and psychology, and understanding trends and climates and the culture, and like I said, moving people. Who knows why certain songs hit the number one charts, or who knows why certain fashion styles go in and out. It's just it's people who are tapped into how humans are and how people are, and what moves people. So that's one. Part two, or lesson two, is basically about honesty and service. Is really where it's at. So, the reason we think of salespeople as sleazy, is because we've all dealt with that, and most people have been abused by that buyer seller dynamic, and it's because of the information gap. So a lot of times the buyer would have more information than you, and just would exploit it. you know, just straight up off the fact that, hey, I know more than you, so I can tell you anything I want to tell you. I can tell you anything, and you're at my mercy. You have to believe me, or you go somewhere else and don't deal with me. But you're at a deficit, and I'm at a at a surplus of information. So I can just use that and move you however I want to move you. I can, move you left, move you right. So he gives the example. When you bought a used car in 1990 and didn't know a lot about cars, your dealer could tell you all kinds of good things about it, right? So, leave out plenty of the bad stuff, and you end up overpaying simply because he knew more than you. He be the quote unquote winner of that transaction. He won. He bested you. So so knowledge was the advantage, but now that isn't the case, right? Thanks to the internet, obviously. At the click of a button, you can find all kinds of dealers in your surrounding area. You can read the reviews from people who bought cars from there. You can compare models online. You can get the Carfax, the technical specs, the average market prices, and find out if any dealers were involved in a scandal. Or you can research however you want to research, and Google it and find. Now that opens up a whole new door of like, okay, even then, is what I'm reading true or credible? But I think you get my greater point, is that information is widespread. It's everywhere. So the internet has sort of leveled the playing field. It's democratized information in a way. So so yeah, so I think he gives this example. He says in 2016 and beyond, the only way to sell is to be honest and transparent, right? That's the only way to sell, because you can get found out, and people can look up anything and find out the truth. So you might as well start on an honest footing and just start on good footing from the jump. So he says to sell is no longer to guard information and hand out little pieces, like give out portions. Okay, you get a little bit, you get a little bit. It's a service, helping people to navigate the wealth of information, explain it to them, and getting them to make the best decision, the one that's right for them at the specific time. Essentially, it's curation, it's curating, it's filtering things out, because it's like this, because there's so much information out there, and you kind of don't know what's what or who's where. That it presents a new opportunity or new problem, new solution, or whatever, how you want to put it, where all the information is out there. Now you need people who can curate that information and who can tell you what to focus on and what to look at and what not to look at, and what's worth your time and what isn't worth your time based off of their research. It's a whole new job now. And so yeah, that's essentially that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now. To the best of my abilities, is essentially act out this book. So 2 books in a row, still like an artist, and to sell as human. They're kind of both actively working through the podcast themselves. So that was point 2, and point 3 is always say yes and quote unquote to keep your customer optimistic. So there's a device from improv theater, and the idea is always say yes and instead of no or yes but. The point is to keep things optimistic, and like customers during a sales pitch need to sense possibility and not limitations. They have to sense that this is doable, and not that the door is being closed or slammed in their face. And and like I said, that's what yes and does. It's like, yeah, I heard you. This is what you said, and also let me add to that. Excuse me, blah 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 blah. But if they feel like if they feel affronted or like you're talking down to them, like I said, they don't want to deal with you. They wouldn't want to deal with you, let alone buy from you or use your service. So it's just about a matter of just having common decency and respect. It's pretty simple stuff, but like I said, it's really valuable. So instead of using words like no or but, agree with their ideas and add to them. and then improve and improvise how you can further move the conversation along. I kind of like to call it the agree and add principle. People want to feel like you heard them before you proceed to say anything else. It says that you respect and value what they have to say. So it's like, I agree with you, and then let me add to that. I agree with that. You don't have to literally say that, but, I agree. I see what you're saying. Okay, so basically what you're saying is this, and this, and this, and this is why this, and this. Okay, well, let me add to that. Also, this, and this. So it's a give and take. It's like if you were to add a brick, and then I add a brick, and so on and so forth. And essentially, we're building this house together. This house being this conversation, this transaction. We're building. Your turn. Okay, my turn. Your turn. Okay, my turn. It's a giving and sharing idea. So you can still add your opinion into the combo without tearing the other person down. So like I said, and this will always be able to integrate. You'll always be able to integrate opposing viewpoints that way as well. So I'm trying to figure out how to play this, but it's like you don't necessarily have to agree on the inside of what they're saying, but it's more so about letting them know that you heard them. So yeah, I heard that. I may not agree with it, but I did hear you. And let me add to what you're saying as well. On top of that, that's true. Also think about this too. Da 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 da. So like I said, you just start with respect first, and then you build from there. And so those are the 3 points. This is a short one. Like I said, I want to keep these short and sweet for you. Let me go over the 3 points. Non-sell selling is basically trying to move others. Artists, creative people are basically trying to move people to something. The second point is honesty and service are taking over sales because the internet has closed the information gap. The information is out there. There is no hierarchy. There is no you're above me or I'm above you. Everybody's kind of on the same playing field because the information's out there. And the third point is use yes and agree and add, as I like to put it. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys listening. Try to apply this in your lives, and let me know how it works out for you. Okay, thanks for listening.